Okay, we're gonna touch over on the nose. Now, everybody seems, we all have different noses, but we all seem to have this kind of dip thing, or whatever it is, right here. And the way of shaping that, what I kind of like to do is go over it a couple times like I did with the eyes. Keep making that shape. It's kind of like those upside down pathetic birds that people make. I'm guilty of it too. But so we're gonna go back over, and I did a little bit of it, but I kind of want to go into more detail of it. So we don't want to go too deep into it in case we mess up. And there we go. I want to widen that up just a little bit more. If you look back at the picture in it, and sometimes I want to erase a bit of it because it's not that dark. Kind of want to blend in our skin color. Kind of move it in different positions, erase a bit of it, and then look back at the picture. I'm going to move the picture a bit closer, sometimes that helps me too. And so the nose here, nose there. So say this side has a kind of awkward shape, the nostril. It's a bit taller, pointier up here, and this one's just kind of ovalish. Sorry, Lady Gaga, I'm commenting on your nose. And so sometimes that can help. Just make this a bit taller. And there you go. So then what we're gonna do is make this a bit wider, because it is wider than this one. This again is the angle of her head. Now, this kind of bit of a thing on the side of her nose, the nostril things right here, there are different shapes because the angle she's in, and we're going to just kind of lightly draw them because it has to blend in with her skin color. And we're going to do the nose ball. Yay, nose ball. Thought I was done with that? Nope. Make it a bit smaller. Shade kind of around it. And then what I like to do, because it comes up and kind of connects to the eyes, and of course, perfect thing right here. She has these kind of socket things from her skull, and it curves in on both sides. And it measures right across about the whole pencil. And I'm gonna do it like right there. Very lightly. Don't make dark circles because she's gonna look like a weirdo then. Not saying she isn't. And then kinda, I know we're not getting too much in the shading, but I like to do this, it just helps me a bit. Draw the two lines up, and under here, just kind of draw quick shades, or little quick pencil moving, I guess, whatever. And I draw that kind of in the way of the nose and the pencil mark that we made here, skull socket. And oh my gosh, we forgot to shade in her nostrils. And it's gonna be there. Now what I'm going to do is kind of erase some of the guidelines that we made. So I'll come back and show you after what I did. Ha! You probably thought I forgot about the eyebrows. And before we do the eyebrows, I want to tell you, before you erase all the guidelines stuff, I really recommend these kind of white erasers. They work a lot better than just a regular pencil eraser because they can have clearly the pencil lead stuck on them. And if you erase with them, they can leave smudges, and we really don't want that, because we want the highlights on our face to look as real as possible. So, now, let's get to the eyebrows. So, we can tell that this eyebrow goes right into her bangs, her blue Cookie Monster bangs. And this one, see, they're kind of, I wonder if she did them with makeup or something, because every time I see her eyebrows are a different color. But that doesn't matter right now. Okay, so we're gonna measure them, measure her eyebrows, and what we're gonna do is measure from the widest part, kind of at the top and the bottom, and it's about that tall. But before we actually do that, sorry, I forgot about this. Measure from the tallest part of her eye to the eyebrow. And it's about right there. You have to kind of keep an eye on it. And look at this. It's the first time I found a mistake. You need to keep her bangs way low on this side, because remember, it's intersecting on her eyebrows. So, remember, I'm going to go over the shape of her eyebrows, kind of. So, or not her eyebrows, the bangs. Sorry, what am I saying today? And it's about where it ends. And it's where we're going to kind of put them. So let's remeasure them in the eye. About right there. There we go. So let's measure them over here. Let's make a line from the two marks that we made. And measure the tip right there. It's an angle that it comes in, so make sure you do that angle. And it's kind of the way it goes. It's kind of an acute angle, the eyebrow right there. Just going to kind of color in about that part. And it's kind of just a straight line into the eyebrow. Just kind of so like that. You just curve your wrist to do it. And remember, eyebrows are very thick. Well, not really thick. Kind of slim, but they're thicker at the beginning. Glad you came. Okay, I'm gonna stand up, kind of look at that, see if they're really that wide. I'm gonna erase maybe a little bit of it, not too much. Oh, what am I doing? I need to use that white eraser. So we don't want it to leave a smudge. And you can really just pick these up at like any craft stores. If you're lucky enough, maybe they come in like a pencil case that you bought. You'd be like, yes, I don't have to buy one. Okay. And then let's measure in between the two. Makeup artist did a very good job if these are makeup. Okay. It's about right there. So, make that mark. And remember, measure the eye tag or whatever I call them. It's about right there. See, I marked it in the wrong place just a bit. Now from the widest part of her eye, it's like right there. My iPod just dropped. Okay. So then we have that. Let's measure from right there. And this one does not get covered up by her bangs. So we can't get lazy on this one. Kind of have to draw where it was. Remember, I like to go over the shape of her eyebrow over and over again. And it gets really thin over here. Just kind of slants over. Keep going over the shape. Memorize it. And about do it right there. It's kind of longish, so that's where I'm going to put it. And that's just about where her eyebrows would be. Sorry, I was just touching up her mouth a little bit. So, now, what we're going to do is, before we can go over the eyes and the lips once again, and all the shading of her face, we're going to do her hair. I'm not going to forget about that. Okay, so we already did that, and we're going to touch on it later. And now we're going to do kind of her heel, happiness to Bob. So, kind of me guessing this is the wig. I don't think she'd actually dye her hair that color. So we're going to do it. I'm going to do it with her hair. What I'm going to do is I'm going to start off with this. So basically I'm not I already did that with if you really don't want to draw a book or something that you have from a picture or something that's wrong doing, I would recommend getting up to from like your computer or something, and you can look at the exact picture. So this part right here is kind of lighter part, I just about got it. And she has curves on her wig and everything. Can touch over the color and everything. But from the side of her, the top of her earlobe or whatever, I'm gonna measure it, and it's about right there. It's just about there. And we're gonna touch it up. It kind of meets the wig's bangs right there. So we're not gonna put it all the way at the top. And we're going to touch it up to where we marked it here. And that's kind of where we're going to put it there. We can touch up the hair and everything. So you can see there's highlights of the light and things in it. And it kind of meets the end of her clothing, her very special clothing. And meets the end of her neck. So where I placed it was kind of the clothing was right. Well, I didn't actually measure the clothing. You should do that. I'm gonna say her neck ends about like right there. So I'm gonna measure, well, her neck kind of ends like right there. I'm gonna kind of touch that up. It's gonna be hiding anyway, so it doesn't really matter. And that's what it's gonna be. Just gonna leave a mark there. And now onto the other side. Now this one's kind of closer to the top, and it comes down, and it's basically right there. It fills in all next to it. So what I'm gonna do is measure the bottom of the earlobe down to the bottom, right there. So her earlobe, it ends right there. And I'm gonna measure this. Here we go. Let's measure from kind of the center of her ear. And it's kind of like the tip of it. And we're just going to kind of draw the curve that's there. And curves up to the tip of the wig that we put about right there. The bump. So I'm going to draw that curve. And it's basically that there. And it kind of gives this curve into the side of her wig. Side of her head is what I meant to say. And I'm going to touch up with a little bit of that on all sides. And it's darker in here because it's closer to her neck. Okay. Now, we're just going to touch up her lips and her eyes. Okay, this might be some people's favorite part of drawing. I don't know, because some people really like drawing eyes. So what we have right here is darker around the side, because she kind of has like hazel eyes or whatever, brown. And it's darker kind of surrounding the pupil. So it would be, I'm just going to kind of lightly shade around where we put the pupil. Remember, don't color in the pupil. I don't know how many times I have to say that to people, and they're like, but now I don't have any place to shade for the light. But so shade in lightly around the edges and around the pupil. Go whatever you do, my heart belongs to you. And there we go. And I'm just gonna go over the pupil. Do the same over here. And my pencil is dull. I need to sharpen it. Remember, always keep a sharpener next to you and another eraser.
All these thoughts and the pain attached to them. Sometimes I wonder why this is happening. It's like nothing I can do would distract me when I think of how I shot myself in the back again. Cause from the infinite words I can say, I put all the pain you gave to me on display, but didn't realize instead of setting